I never told anyone that I secretly earn $1 million a month. After a year of dating Nikita, we decided to get married. When it came time to meet his family, I thought it would be fun to test them. So I pretended to be a simple country girl. But the moment I walked into their mansion, his mother said something that changed everything. I never told a soul about the million rubles I make each month. Not my childhood friends in Suzdal, who write letters brimming with village gossip, hay harvests, church bells, petty feuds over fence lines. Not my cousins, who send me knitted mittens, assuming I'm scraping by in Moscow's grind. And not even Nikita, my love, my refuge, the man I'm set to marry. My wealth is my armor, forged in secret, but it's also a weight I carry, hidden beneath modest coats that mask silk dresses from Paris, tailored blazers from Milan, a Rolex tucked under my sleeve. My Ferrari sits untouched in a private garage, its engine silent to preserve the lie I've spun. I'm Anna Vulov, 28, a self-made millionaire, and this is the story of how my secrets unraveled in a single, snowbound weekend. In Moscow, where glass towers stab the winter sky like jagged ice, I built Volov Analytics, a tech empire that reads market trends like tea leaves for Russia's elite, banks, oil tycoons, tech giants. My penthouse in Moscow City is my sanctuary. Polished concrete floors, floor-to-ceiling windows framing the Moskva River's icy shimmer. Walls lined with first edition Pushkin, Tolstoy, Akhmatova, their leather bindings worn from quiet nights lost in their words. A single photo of my mother, Elena, sits on a glass table, her smile soft, weary, captured in a Suzdal meadow under a boundless sky. Behind a sliding panel, a safe guards, contracts, patents, encrypted drives. My million-ruble secret. I've kept it from everyone, especially Nikita Ivanov, the architect who stole my heart with his warm smile, earnest brown eyes, and dark hair that falls into his face when he laughs. We've been together a year and 3 months, a quiet love carved out in Moscow's chaos. Nikita thinks I'm a freelance graphic designer, cobbling together gigs to pay rent on a modest apartment, a decoy I maintain with thrift store furniture, faded curtains, a chipped teapot that clinks when I pour. Our evenings are spent in Tverskaya street cafes, sharing honey-drizzled bliney, or strolling Gorky Park, where he sketches spiraling towers and airy pavilions that defy gravity. I watch, my heart swelling, as he dreams aloud of a home for us, a garden for our children, a studio for his sketches, a library for my books. One night under the twinkling lights of Patriarch's Ponds, his breath visible in the cold, he whispered of that home. In Zaryadye Park, under a snowy sky, he proposed with a silver ring, a tiny star engraved on it. I said yes, tears freezing on my cheeks, and we planned a wedding in a small church, its stained glass casting rainbows on stone. But first I had to meet his family in Kolomna, a 2-hour train ride from Moscow. I saw a chance for a game. Let's make it fun, I told Nikita one night in my decoy apartment, my eyes sparkling as I poured tea, the teapot's worn handle cool in my hand. I'll pretend to be a simple girl from Suzdal, like my roots. He laughed, charmed, his fingers brushing mine, unaware of the fortune I hid. I crafted my persona, a gray wool dress, my mother's scarf with its snowflake patterns, stories of a village life I left at 18. I wanted his family to love me, not my money. But beneath the mischief, fear stirred. Suzdal wasn't just a story, it was my past, marked by hardship. My mother's death at 18, her body worn from illness. My father, Mikhail, abandoning us when I was 7, leaving us in a crumbling dacha with a leaking roof, a stuttering stove, windows rattling in the wind. I built my empire through sleepless nights, coding at Moscow State University, outsmarting rivals who saw only a provincial girl. My professor, Dr. Marina Petrova, once told me, "You see patterns others miss, Anya. Don't let the world dim that." Those words drove me to map data like constellations, turning chaos into profit. Now they echoed as I stepped into Nikita's world, my deception a fragile shield. The train to Kolomna wound through snowy fields, frost lacing the windows, framing birch trees heavy with snow, villages glowing faintly in the dusk, smoke curling from chimneys like whispered promises. Nikita held my hand, his warmth seeping into my cold fingers, sharing stories of his family. His stern mother, Irina, her borscht legendary in Kolomna. His reserved father, Sergei, a retired factory worker with calloused hands. His sister Lena, a 24-year-old artist with a rebellious streak, her canvases bursting with color. My heart pounded. Boardrooms were easier than this. I thought of my mother sewing patches under Suzdal's starlit skies, her stories of courage steady against winter winds. Of my father, a blurry memory until I found his face in yellowed photos, creased and tucked away. The Ivanov house was modest, its wooden exterior weathered but warm, smoke curling into the crisp evening. Irina greeted me, her gray hair in a tight bun, her eyes sharp, her handshake firm, calloused from sewing and gardening. "Welcome, Anna," she said, her voice cool, appraising. Sergei offered a nod, his deep-set eyes guarded, his posture rigid. Lena, paint-splattered, hugged me, leaving a smudge of blue on my coat. "Prettier than Nikita said," she teased, her purple-streaked hair catching the light. The house smelled of borscht, fresh bread, wood smoke, memories of my mother's kitchen, her hands kneading dough under lamplight, the stove's warmth a shield against the cold. Dinner was tense, spoons clinking against bowls. Irina's questions cut like knives. My family, my work, Suzdal. I wove my story, teaching art to village children, golden dome churches, berry-picking summers, my voice steady despite her scrutiny. Nikita squeezed my hand, his thumb tracing circles, his smile a lifeline. But Irina's gaze was unyielding. "Suzdal's small," she said, spooning borscht with ritualistic precision. "What's your family name?" "Vulov, but they left years ago," I said, my pulse quickening. Was she testing me? I deflected with a tale of my mother's sunflowers, their petals swaying in the breeze, but the air crackled. Lena's art questions were a reprieve, her enthusiasm bright, while Sergei's silence felt heavy, his eyes darting to the door. Odd details set my nerves on edge. A locked cabinet, its key on Irina's necklace, glinting like a talisman. A photograph half hidden behind dried flowers, showing a younger Irina with a man, not Sergei, his cheekbones sharp like mine, his arm around her. Whispers between Irina and Sergei, urgent, carried by creaking floorboards. My game felt like a misstep. In the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face, my reflection in the chip mirror showed a woman caught between past and pretense. Why did Irina's questions feel like traps? Who was that man, stirring a memory I couldn't grasp? That night, unable to sleep in the creaking guest bed, wind rattling the windows, I crept downstairs. Under a lamp's dim glow, I studied the photo. The man was Mikhail Vulov, my father. Memories flooded back, his abandonment, his promises, the letters that stopped, the hole he left, my mother's raw hands sewing to keep us afloat. Did Irina know him? A creak startled me. Lena, pale, paint-stained hands trembling, whispered, "You shouldn't be here. Mama doesn't like snooping." I pointed to the photo. "Who's this?" Her eyes darted. "Someone from Mama's past. Don't ask her, Anya." Morning brought no relief. In the kitchen, coffee's scent mixed with tension. Irina cornered me. "You're not just a country girl, are you?" she said, her voice cutting. "I saw your phone. Expensive." I cursed myself for leaving my titanium-cased phone out, a crack in my story. I stammered, but her gaze was relentless. "I knew a Vulov girl who made something of herself. Is that you?" Before I could answer, Nikita entered, sensing the strain. "Mama, what's going on?" Irina turned to the stove, her silence deafening, the pan's clatter echoing. That evening, a phone call made Sergei pale. He stepped outside, his voice hushed. "He's back. Keep him away." Lena suggested a walk, but Irina snapped. "It's not safe," her hand clutching the necklace's key. My mind raced. Was it Mikhail? A black car idled across the street, its tinted windows hiding eyes that watched. Clues piled up. A locked drawer, a burn mark by the fireplace, a note in Lena's sketchbook. He can't know. I tried to talk to Nikita, but he was distant. What aren't you telling me? He asked, his eyes searching. I wanted to confess my wealth, but fear stopped me. What if it changed us? In the guest room, I found a hidden compartment with a letter from Mikhail to Irina, dated before my birth. It spoke of love, a failed tech venture, debts to Moscow's underworld. Had he fled Zazdal to escape them? I confronted Lena. Tears spilled as she admitted emailing Mikhail, seeking answers about Irina's pain, unwittingly drawing him here. Sergei's next call confirmed it. He's closer. The car outside hummed ominously. A snowstorm hit on the third night, wind howling like a warning. A knock shook the house. Nikita moved to answer, but I stopped him, my instincts screaming. The door swung open, revealing Mikhail, his face weathered but unmistakable. My past crashed over me, his betrayal, the pain. Irina gasped, clutching her necklace. Sergei growled, "You're not welcome." Mikhail's eyes locked on me, his smile predatory. "Anya, my girl, a millionaire, they say. You've made me proud." How did he know? Nikita turned, confused. "Anya, what's he talking about?" Irina exploded. "You left her, Mikhail. You left us all." Chaos erupted. Lena sobbed, Sergei stood firm, and I learned Irina was Mikhail's former lover, abandoned for my mother. The cabinet held his letters, proof of his manipulations, kept as Irina's shield. My pretense crumbled. I confessed to Nikita, tears falling. I hid my wealth so you'd love me, not my money. I built it from nothing. His eyes softened, but hurt lingered. Mikhail lunged for the letters, threatening to expose Irina. Lena admitted her role, her emails leading him here. I faced him, my voice steady. "You don't get to ruin this." I'd recorded his threats, my tech instincts sharp. His bravado faltered, and he fled into the storm. Nikita pulled me close. "I love you, Anya, not your money, but you should have trusted me." Irina handed me her locket, a relic of her strength. "You're stronger than he was," she said, a truce in her eyes. The Ivanov house, my stage for deception, became a crucible. As we sat, letters scattered, the storm raging. I felt hope. My wealth, once a shield, could be a bridge to a future with Nikita if we faced our shadows together.